Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are. Sir. It has been privilege for me to present appreciations and international webinars on post-study sustainable development through Transformative TVET. I am Dr. Maw Maw Tun, Director of the Research Section and Department of TVET in Myanmar. And I'm also working as a coordinator of Myanmar University Center. Today, I'm going to share with you uh, my presentation title, Curricular Innovation for Sustainability. So the content of my presentation will include sustainable development and global trend, context and activities of Myanmar, sustainability and innovative curriculum, outcome-based education, OPE, and competency-based training, curriculum structural engineering diploma program, accreditation criteria, and good practice challenge or opportunity. So you can see sustainable development and evolution to TVET. I truly believe that all the participants from this attending this webinar is from TVET. So we all know that TVET have been related to sustainable development goals, particularly Goal 4, quality education, and Goal 8 is work and economic growth. On top of that, our TVET system also related to Goal 5, gender equality, Goal 9, industry innovation infrastructure, and Goal 8, Goal 10, reduce inequality. In addition, so our TVET also contributes to Goal 11, sustainable city and community, and Goal 13, climate action, and Goal 17, partnership for the goals. So this slide shows a global transition in TVET published by the UNESCO 2020s. And so you will see six major transition in our TVET system. The first one is an economic recovery. And so 3.3% economic contraction happened in 2020s, and economic growth projection of 6% in 2021 and 4.9% in 2022. And number two is informalities. And today's and 61 point or employment informal. And also formal employment is currently challenged by the emergence of the gig economy. And number three is societal and political issues. So in this includes class scales, migration, governance, and challenge to multilateralism. In addition to that, a number four, and green and sustainable economic transition. And so we all know that CO2 atmospheric concentration is 150% of the industrial rate and 38.5% of electricity produced by the coal. And number five, if technology changes, and 60.7 billion US dollar was spent on business process automation in 2020s. And the final one, demographic transition, and fertility rate, and 2.4 children per woman, median work population is 30.9, sorry. And project life expectancy 2020 and 2025 is 73.2 years. But this slide shows priority areas for TVET according to the UNESCO. So the first priority area is develop skills for all eligible viewers to learn, work, and life. A second priority area is develop skills for inclusive and sustainable economies, and thus priority area is develop skills for inclusive and peaceful societies. So you can see global technology trends and labor market demand. So this slide shows the key insights. So regarding automation and AI, 43% business tasks has been automated will be automated by 2027. In addition to that, AI markets will amount to $4.8 trillion by 2033, and less than 10% school can teach AI, according to the UNESCO uniform. Regarding the green skills demand, so workforce green talent has been increased by 12.3%, according to the Global Green Skin Report 2023. And you can also see in ASEAN and Myanmar's and in our regions, digital economy has been rapidly growing. AI, big data, robotics, AI, IoT will be the trend. So regarding the youth and skin crisis, 61% of global population needed upscaling and retraining, and 48% of students report feeling unprepared for an AI enabled workplace, and 450 million youth, 7 out of 10, economically disengaged due to skin gap, according to the UNESCO Universal Fund. So job 22.4% of the green job posting will encounter shortage, will have shortage risks. So therefore, our TVETs might equip learner with the digital green and AI skill for inclusive growth. So in this slide, you can see the context for Myanmar. So all we know is the global transformation, including digitalization, green transition, and AI, are reshaping our economy and scale. So in our country context, our nation is in transition phase economic recovery and technology adaptation. And also regarding the large youth population, 33% of the total population, and so within 50 to 35 years old. They are the key opportunity for our country. So the role of the TVETs is to equip the learners with digital green and AI skill for the future job-ready skills, as well as to drive the protective socio-economic growth and sustainable development. So this slide shows our priorities industry sector in Myanmar. So we have 9 product industry sectors. So these are education, and hackers, and manufacturers, technology startup, agriculture, tourism, logistics, digital trades, and financial science. So let me briefly introduce our TVET system in Myanmar. So global context and policy driver and TVETs for our country includes UN Sustainable Development Goals, UNESCO Universal Policy and Strategies, and regional policy and strategies. And for national context and policy driver and in Tibet, we have the Sustainable Development Plan, National Education Law, Science, Technology, Innovation Strategy Plans, and a policy of Department of TVET and Line Ministry. We have 3 types of TVET system in Myanmar: formal TVET education, non-formal TVET education, and informal TVET education. And also we have 8 inline ministries. So you see the 8 inline ministry involved in vocational TVET system in Myanmar. So Ministry of Industry, Ministry of Labor, Ministry of Religious Affairs and Cultures, Ministry of Science and Technology, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Social Welfare, Release and Resettlement, Ministry of Cooperatives and Rural Development, Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock, and Irrigation. Our Ministry of Science and Technology, geographically based the Focus TVET department and department of the department or our department of TVET is a Focus TVET department in our countries. So Science, Technology, Innovation Strategy Plan 2022-2027, guided by our ministry. And we have 7 pillars of TVET development in our countries, and these are access and inclusion, moral curriculum, innovative teaching and learning, aligned assessment, moral management and quality assurance, sustainable financing, internationalization and partnership. So under pillar 2, moral curriculum, we have 5 strategies. All these strategies related to curriculum development and also advanced curriculum with 21st century skills to meet the need of Myanmar's sustainable development plan, industry and workplace. And the other strategy related to digital learning system and student activities such as science and also high-tech learning and high-touch learning approach. So such a sustainability has. So what is sustainability? Sustainability so integrates environmental and social responsibility into skill development, preparing learners for green jobs, promoting resource efficiency, and circular economies and aligning trade system with their sustainable development. So in this slide, you see key consideration for sustainable TVET. So this includes an industry and market relevant, competency training, organ-based education and assessment, the transition, green, digital, inclusive and social equity, innovation development, quality assurance and continuous improvement, lifelong learning, and flexible work better ways, government and multi-stakeholder partnerships. And these are the key considerations for sustainable TVET in our country. Why curricular innovation in TVET is required? So we have a reason. The first one is rapid technology change, digitalization, automation. And second one is climate change and environmental challenges. Thus, changing labor market industry demand and need for sustainable, inclusive, and future-ready. These are the curriculum. This is the curriculum reform currently carried out by our country. So current curriculum reform has been embarked on the diploma in engineering program we call Association of Government Technical Institute (AGDI) diploma, where we have started to 2023-2024 current years. Why? Because this diploma in engineering program is Myanmar backbone for mid-level technician human resources. And also we are moving from traditional even more to sustainable models. So our goal is to align technical education with SDG plus Myanmar Sustainable Development Plan, MSDP. So the role of the teachers and trainer has changed because of the curriculum reform. So nowadays, our curriculum are to serve as a facilitator, not only lecture, and mentors and coaches, and industry-linked professionals, and contingent learner, and skill research. So their requirements is regularly capacity building and industrial exposure. So this slide shows comparison traditional TVET curriculum and more TVET curriculum of the curriculum. So you see the curriculum focus, and before we focus on curriculum based and ability oriented, and now we focus on competency based and outcome based or outcome oriented. A teaching approach, a teacher-centered lecture based to learner-centered active learning. Regarding the learning methods from memorizing and repetition to problem solving and critical thinking. And practical trainings and limited workshop based only to integrate this industry linkage and real work tests. In industrial relevance, and we can always alignment for, but now strong alignment with curricular industry needs. Skill development, technical skill only, and technical and digital greens and soft skill. Sustainable focus and minimum and absent before the non-integrated green skill and sustainable. Use of technology before limited use of digital tools and now use of digital tools, simulation and e-learning. Assessment methods, reading is and practice now and competency-based, outcome-based, and practical and solution assessment. Role of teachers, knowledge transmitted before and now flexible manner as a student roles and flexible learner before and now active participant and innovative. Flexibility, fixed curriculum structure before and now flexibles and adaptive curriculum. Lifelong learning, not on-site so much now, and strong emphasis on lifelong learning, employability, and limited job readiness before and high job readiness adaptability now. So regarding the benefits of curricular innovation for students, better employability and future ready skill. For industry, skin adaptive workforce. For the country and support to green economy, sustainable industrial development. So the outcome-based education, currently we are taking initiatives on that. So outcome-based education, OBE, is education in which an emphasis is placed on a clearly articulated ideas of what students are expected to know and be able to do. That is what skills and knowledge they need to have or they need to acquire when they leave the school system. It is the outcome-based education. And now here's a competency-based training. Competency-based training is a structured training and assessment system that allow an individual to acquire skills and knowledge in order to perform work activities to a specific standards. That is a competency-based training. So there is the competency building, competency-based training, CBT, and outcome-based training education overview. So you can see focus, a competency training focus on the job specific competency, outcome training is overview learning outcome. And scope competency training is narrow and tested skills, outcome education, and has focused on broad knowledge, skill and curriculum basis, competency training education is based on education standards, and outcome education based on in-practice learning outcome. And in assessment and competency-based training, focus on performance mastery-based approach, and outcome education focus on outcome and criteria-based approach. So this is the comparison between competency training and outcome training. Why OBE for diploma in our engineering program in our country has been implemented? First, engineering diplomas require both theory and practice. Second, OBE, outcome education skills. Engineering knowledge problem solving at this teamwork and lifelong learning. And also OBE aligns well with international accreditation frameworks. For example, International Engineering Alliance, IEA, Washington, and up. And OBE prepares the criteria for career progression and function. That's why we select outcome education for our diploma in engineering program. So the outcome-based education, so these are the outcomes. So you can see the top-down methods and bottom-up approach. So outcome-based education is interconnected and internally connected to each other. So when you consider outcome-based education, the first one is you have to think about the vision and mission. So we also mentioned graduate outcome. So we need to think about what are the aim and objective of our university, our faculty, and our department. And then based on our vision and mission, we have to think about program education objectives. Program education objectives are intended achievement for our graduates in 3 to 5 years after their graduation. And then based on program education objectives, we have to think about a program outcome. Program outcomes are intended achievement for the student at their graduation. After that, the key element, core outcomes are intended achievement for the student at the end of the individual course. That is the bottom top-down approach, and then bottom approach and core outcome must align with program outcome. Program outcomes must align with program education objectives, and program education objectives must align with a vision and mission of the university faculty and departments. So you can see outcome-based education roadmaps, and the first one is we have to think about outcome-based planning. So what our students should achieve. So outcome-based planning related to vision and mission of our institutes, and program education objectives, program outcome, and course outcomes of our institutes, and also the other outcome. Based on the outcome-based planning, we have to think about curriculum, outcome-based curriculum. And after that, we have to think about teaching and learning and teaching, outcome-based learning and teaching. How to make students achieve the outcome. They are very important to achieve the outcome. After that, we learn, our students learn and the teacher teach, and then we have to measure. Sure, so what our students have really achieved our outcome. So that we call outcome-based assessment. Based on outcome-based assessment, we also collect the feedback, and we analyze, we evaluate. And then we get reset, and we have to think about to get better results next time. And that's called quality improvement, outcome-based quality improvement. So from the this roadmaps have been internally connected. So based on the outcome-based assessment, we have to think about how to what to update for our planning, for our curriculum, for our teaching and learning, as well as assessment. So these are interconnected to each other. So in addition to that, we also need to think about reference and input. What graduate levels? We are thinking about diploma, or we are thinking about the bachelor. So in this regard, we are thinking about diploma in engineering program. So we have to collect the feedback, collect the stakeholder input, not only from student, teachers, industry, as well as engineering association, organization, and relevant stakeholders. And also based on our diploma levels, and we have to consider the knowledge and attitude and graduate attribute, professional competency, and problem activities. And so the Washington Accords, I mean the International Engineering Alliance guidance Washington Accord, Washington Accord for bachelor program, Sydney Accord for bachelor program, and Bachelor of Technology program, and Dublin Accord for diploma in engineering program. Our current program is related to Dublin Accords, Accord guided by the International Engineering Alliance. So when we apply for for accreditation of our program, or if we got accepted our accreditation, we will have a substantial equivalent of our program to those who are following the guidelines, or who are following the accreditation guideline of the International Engineering Alliance. And we also have benchmarks and also rankings. These are the on-campus education roadmaps currently we are implementing for our engineering diploma in engineering program. So, as I mentioned earlier, program education objective will become professional attributes. And so this means that our graduate, the success of our graduate can be measured 3 to 5 years after their graduation, whether they have acquired, they have achieved technical competence, library management, at least a lifelong learning for their essential hard and soft skills. And program outcome will become graduate attributes after their graduation. So in our curriculum, we have to make sure we have hard skill and soft skill required for our graduates. So for hard skills, and so they have to acquire knowledge and problem analysis, solution development, investigation to use it. For soft skills, we have to acquire this engineering and work, and ethics, individual teamwork, communication, management and finance, and lifelong learning. So this slide shows curriculum content. So we are considering to develop our diploma in engineering program. The first one is natural science and social science. So the second one is mathematics, numerical analysis, statistics, computer science, information. First one is engineering fundamentally for our student, who is engineering specialist knowledge. They are the subjects that they have to specialize in, and then engineering design and operation, and knowledge in technology, and knowledge and issue on society such as public safety and sustainable development, and literature study related to current technological advancements or current technological trends, and at least inclusive behavior and content. All these curriculum contents will contribute to sustainable development goals. So the curriculum structure of our engineering, our diploma engineering program, you will see that as a full module, composite module, a Komoko module, display go modules, and electric module. In composite modules, and we have national law, policy, cities, soft skills, and language. And Komoko module, science and mathematics, and display go module and display related knowledge and skills. Electric module is the subjects related to the specialized areas. So you can also see the highlight green color highlights. These These green color highlighted subjects are the new subjects that has been integrated to our program according to our curriculum reform. So before that, and we didn't have such kinds of subjects. So you can see the national law and guideline, national development plan, social science, humanity, updated sustainable issue, and in common code and entrepreneurship and project management. So these sectors are truly crucial for contributing sustainable development as well as to make sure our students acquire required soft skills as well as required hard skills. So the slide shows the curriculum strategies of our diploma in engineering program. Common core 90%, chemistry core module 21%, display core module 46%, electric module 3%, and project 4%, industry training 7%. So this is the accreditation manual of Myanmar Engineering Council. Myanmar Engineering Council is a leading organization for accreditation of engineering program, not only diploma but also Bachelor of Technology and Bachelor of Engineering. So when we are following the accreditation accreditation criteria cited by the Myanmar Engineering Councils and particularly Engineering Education Accreditation Committee. There are 7 criteria. So the first one is program education objective and graduate attributes, as I mentioned earlier, program outcomes, academic curriculum, and student, and teaching, and sports staff, and facility, and quality management systems. So this slide shows our 2 accredited our 2 accredited institutes. The first one is Government Technical Institute and Government Technical Institute, our TVET Institute, two TVET institutes. And in our first institutes, and we already got accreditation of the program, electrical power engineering and industrial engineering. In the second institute, we have got accreditation for electronic engineering and mechanical engineering. So good practice for promoting innovative curriculum in our TVET system. The first one is curriculum reform and integration. That is one of our good practice for promoting innovative curriculum. So we already reformed our diploma engineering curriculum to align with industrial need, accreditation guidelines of national and international organization. And we are incorporating ICT tools, simulation software, and AI application to align with the IR 4.0. And we are also embedding great skills and AGDI in our curriculum. And second good practice is entrepreneurship and innovation. We are integrating entrepreneurial education in our TVET system. We didn't do that before. So, and also we are celebrating teacher, student, and teacher scan innovative project in the project competition for promoting their innovation and also creativity, not only for student but also for the teacher. And we also carry out research and development innovation for local MSME development. Capacity of teachers, and we are currently upscaling our TVET, pre-started and started teacher administrative staff in ICT, AI, digital skill, and electric vehicle, especially in the IR4IOH. And we also carry out quality assurance teaching and learning. And number 4, research and development. We are currently implementing green TVET initiatives in our TVET Institute. And we are also carrying out research on TVET, including access, inclusion, curriculum, teaching land, assessment. And based on our research, survey research, and we are currently updating our curriculum for quality improvement, not only for curriculum, but also for providing different teaching aids and others. other essential things. And we are we also had international cooperation. We currently we are cooperating with UNESCO Univox, Senior Budapest, Colombo Plus College, Meron, Republic of Korea's and international partners to facilitate trainings, webinars, workshops related to digital and IR 4.0 technologies at our TVET Institute. So this slide shows our some curriculum and specialized software application integration into our engineering diploma and bachelor of curriculum. This slide shows the reskilling and upskilling TVET teacher for AI skill development. And these kinds of training have been developed by the MECOM, Republic of Korea's Development Fund, MKCF Development Fund. We are now reskilling, upskilling our TVET teachers for advanced technology. And Green TVET Initiative, we are also embarking on Green TVET Initiative in our selected TVET institutes. So we also provide a knowledge sharing event for green communities. So challenge and opportunities. So our current challenge, not only for our country, but also for the other developing country. So our TVET Institute must have limited strength training due to technology distraction in TVET, and we have limited infrastructure equipment because technology is changing all the time, and we have a limited leadership and management capacity. But we also have opportunity to promote our TVET system. The first one is we can learn and practice a lesson from other countries. And second one is we can create our local innovative solution through technologies. Because nowadays technology is everywhere. And we also possibly enhance our industry partnerships and international cooperation. So as conclusion and future outlooks, and our TVET system is really essential to empower our country future workforce through innovative curriculum. Our current initiative incorporates includes, and as I mentioned earlier, innovative curriculum reform, library industry needs, and national accreditation and international accord, research and innovation, scale and innovation project competition, and international cooperation. Our future priority will focus on investing in the digital infrastructure and teaching and training, teacher training, modernizing curriculum continuously, bridges digital divide, expand access, and a full study innovation through stronger partnership and promote this sustainable development. These are the references I've used for my presentation. Thank you so much for your kind attention. And if you have any other, if you have question and comment, I warmly welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Momo. Can we please request for you to stop sharing the presentation, sir, so we can focus on your case, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very comprehensive and very informative showcase of the best practices and the curriculum standards that you have currently in Myanmar. I'm sure everyone had a very insightful session with you. So for this discussion, sir, one of the things that were raised in our live chat here in the Zoom, it is encouraging to see that employment in green jobs have increased by 22.4%. What are included in the green jobs, sir? Could you specify some, sir, that would be relevant for all? Dr. Momo, you're on mute.
Okay, give me a second, and give me a second. I will check the reference list. Okay, so could you? Okay, maybe we can move to the next question. I will come back to that. Yes.
Okay, sir. So we will get back to that. Although there are some jobs that were raised by one of the participants, he mentioned waste management, transportation, green constructions are also included in the green job. Okay, so I believe some of those are the answers. Typical examples of GIG economy in Myanmar, if you would agree to this, sir. Okay. So let's proceed with the next question. We need more insight on solo taxonomy, sir. So what can you share more about the taxonomy?
Okay, and currently our curriculum, focus on blue taxonomies, and so based on the blue taxonomy, we developed course outcomes, and so which level you have to achieve based on the curriculum. So currently we use blue taxonomy connected domains and level 1 to 6. That is 4 skills. Yes, solo sample is it also look like a blue taxonomy and solo taxonomy.
Okay, sir. I believe we're able to answer the question. Okay, still waiting for the other participants to raise their question. Sir, correct me if I'm wrong, but the common denominators that were mentioned in your discussion when it comes to the Myanmar TVET curriculum would be the presence of digital transformation, entrepreneurship, and 21st century skills, balanced by sustainability or green TVET. So, as a country, as a nation belonging to Asia Pacific, and as a curriculum developer, how do you marry all these concepts, sir, to make a viable, useful, and very relevant curriculum that would be applicable not just only for your country, but hopefully something that can be replicated across the Asia Pacific? What are the challenges? What are the bumps and the downs, sir, that you were able to encounter while designing this curriculum? And right now, here you are, sir, uh, practicing the curriculum as it is, sir. Would you share with us the experience, sir, if you may?
So you mean challenges or
Integrating, sir, all those aspects because these are different competencies, so to speak.
uh, yes, and also currently is so currently is climate change also for our engineer. We also need to think about environmental impact. So climate change. So I think that is not a and not animal and relevant or and related competency for engineers. It's totally important because you know the world the global transformation has been changing of changes. So we also need to focus on the climate change. So that's why I I I do this this kind of competency are really essential for us.
Yes, sir. Now another question, sir, coming from our participants. I am looking for a multi-ministerial engagement in the vet system. Very appreciable. I think this is appreciable. Would you clarify how they synergistically act on TVET entirely and how it looks their role and responsibility? So how do we segregate the roles and responsibilities of all the stakeholders, sir? And is there a shared do they share policies and what would be the implications, sir?
So you mean in line ministry, right?
Yes, sir.
In line ministries, so currently is the other ministry just implemented like short course and diploma, short course and certificate program. The majority of the teacher programs are organized by our ministries. So the other program, for example, is Ministry of Affairs, and they they offer the training program that's for job ready skin. So the other ministry also implemented that. So our main target is for 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 our policy and for national policies such as the sustainable development plans. We are contributing to the same policy, even though we have different ministry and different governance structures.
Okay, sir. Another question, sir. Why is transportation in the green jobs? I think Myanmar can shed some light on this one, sir, because you already have the green TVET practice in the country.
So transformation, you mean transformation and
Transportation, sir. Transport.
Transportation and green vessel. So
Yes, sir.
currently, so our country is now really focused on electric vehicles. So we are vehicles. So we are providing short-term training and short-term trainees, and not only for the master trainer but also for the trainees. So this kind of approach, I think, is it contributes to transportation. I'm not. So am I answering it correctly to your questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, I believe regarding the reference, the PowerPoint presentation of Dr. Momo will be available on course, right, staff? So you would be able to get a copy of this one once you complete the webinar. So I believe you can have an access to that as well. Okay, sir. Another question. Let's go to
Okay.
research as part of the curriculum development strategy. How's the situation of green research in Myanmar, sir? Could you expound to us the best practices of your country in integrating research in the curriculum, which I think some of the participants here coming from other countries can adopt as well?
Okay, so currently in our diploma engineering and bachelor program, we start integrating like renewable energy sectors and other, renewable energy such as solar, wind. So we start integrating this kind of subject into our teacher curriculum. In addition to that, as I mentioned earlier, so we are embarking on the electric vehicle training for the local employee at the local workshop, and also we are providing such kind of training for our teachers. I think, and in addition to that, for green tea banks, we start pilot projects in our TVET Institute to have the comprehensive approach. So where we cannot start this kind of project in our art institutes, and because we need to start a pilot project in our selected 2 or 3 TVET institutes because it's manageable and it's easily achieved.
Okay, thank you, sir. I hope that answers the question. Another question from our participants via Zoom. What is the key difference between CPT and OPT? Because CPT is also outcomes-based training, sir. So what's the major difference?
Okay, let me share my presentation again. I already shared this kind of information in my presentation. Okay, okay, just wait. Hang on a moment. So could you see my screenshot? No.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So I mean, here is the comparison between competency-based training and outcome-based training. Competency-based training focus is on job-specific competencies, only job-specific competencies. But outcome-based education is focused on learning outcome. So as I mentioned earlier, and we have a program outcome, course outcome, So this academic education focus on learning content. And the scope is too narrow, at test-based. And after competency-based training program, what kind of competency should the student acquire? That is a competency-based. But academic education is what kind of knowledge, strength, and values is broader than, because I was checking next time, because academic education also good for preparation and graduate for career progression as well as further study. And then curriculum is based on occupational standards, but academic education is based on intended learning outcomes. And assessment is performance and master degree approach, and there is outcome and criteria based score. I think this explanation is broadly, I mean that you can get the broader overview of the difference between competency-based training and academic training education.
Okay. So therefore, OBA is more on the theoretical aspect of education and training, and CBT is more on the targeted skills-based training, sir. Would that be correct?
Actually, an academic education is not only knowledge, but also it has specific outcomes you have to achieve. It's might sometimes you can you will see, for example, an engineering diploma programs for theoretical parts. You will focus on knowledge, but practical part and academic education. But you can also integrate competency training for this program, for practical training program.
Okay, sir. So as a follow-up question to this, to the point that was raised by one of our participants a while ago, sir, you mentioned about the twin transition, wherein economies, the academe, the industries are transitioning to green and digital. So you mentioned about the difference between OBE and CBT, and how we conduct our curriculum development based on the industry need. Now, how do you ensure that there is an alignment, sir, between the industry and the academe? Because most of the time, sir, the academe is purely OBE, but the industry is focused on the CBT. So how do you strike a balance between the two, that you are not just producing theoretically apt, theoretically proficient graduates, talents, but also industry prepared and industry ready talents in Tibet?
Okay. Okay, let me share my sheet again. Okay. So can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry, one. That is one. So academic education, you will see. So here is academic education that organizes the accent. The key element of academic education is outcome-based quality improvement. So first is, so you will see academic assessment and this feedback, analysis, evaluation, and also you will see the reference input. Academic education is great to continually update or improve our curriculum based on stakeholder input, not only for the first year, but also from the second year, third year, and fourth year, and also and so on. So that is really important. You just mentioned that industry is changing. Likewise, and our curriculum also changes. So, and also, I will also share you, and you see program educational objectives, and we also measure our students and how they achieve 3 to 5 years after their graduation. Maybe we have employer surveys and we have alumni surveys, and so academic education is not only developing curriculum, it's also improving all the time. And so based on the assessment and based on the stakeholder feedback, and we just improves our planning, our vision, our program educational objectives, and we also updated curriculum and learning and teaching based on the new technology advancements and based on based on the assessment. We are continuously improving our curriculum. So all the time. So that's why we cannot say OPT is much aligned with the industry. Alternative education also is can also align with industry because we are updating the curricula all the time. So I
Therefore,
think
quality assurance, sir, plays a vital role, not just on the curriculum development process, but in the execution of the curriculum itself.
actually it's you because our department also conducting research. Now we are collect because we already start our on-campus education since 2023-2024 academic year. Now we start teaching our students with the new, we start teaching new curriculum to our students. And meanwhile, and I am the director of research section, we are collecting the survey based on the quality the survey regarding the curriculum requirement and curriculum alignments, curriculum relevance. So we are collecting all the feedbacks, and based on the feedback, we are updating teaching equipment, teaching age. We are updating infrastructures, and we are not only in the curriculum, we are also updating the partners. So yes, I think the OPE is also important, important for the diploma programs and other higher level programs. So
Okay, sir. Due to our very limited time right now, I guess we will just
Okay.
entertain one more question, sir. Nowadays, the very challenge of the vet is its limitation, due to its lack of clear pathway to higher education, just like the university does. So, how do you see a student who graduated from a TVET program in CBE to proceed to university for more knowledge and wide learning? So this is career pathway, sir. So how do we lay out that for a graduate or a learner who wants to branch out?
So we also have similar challenges. We also have similar challenges before them because we have eight eight level of national qualification frameworks from level 1, level primary to level 8, level 8 down to level 8 PhD program. So in our country, we had a similar challenge. We had similar challenge before. That is from the TVET graduates who are qualified. They can go to higher education, go to university, go to TVET institutes from the TVET high school. But now we have built a pathway for the student who didn't pass the matriculation examination. Because they didn't pass the examination and matriculation examination, they didn't have the chance to go to higher education. In this case, we just bridge a gap by giving the pathway that we call NGF level 4 pathway program. So even though they didn't pass the exam, they can start joining the level 4 program and then go to the higher education. I think so the challenge is not the TVET. The challenge is the policy. If the policy well implemented, the pathway is I think the best way it achieve for all the students. So
That's true, sir.
yeah.
We firmly agree on that, sir. With that, sir, as much as we would really want to spend the rest of the day doing question and answer, I guess this calls for another round of discussion, perhaps in our next webinar. So thank you very much, Dr. Momo, for your time and for that very comprehensive and very insightful presentation. And we look forward to connecting with you soon, sir, not only with me and more, but also to you personally, sir. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you very much.
I'm here to share the new perspective of fostering sustainable development through transformative TVET by integrations of design thinking, entrepreneurships, and gross national happiness in Tibet sector. I'll be taking you through especially gross national happiness, as Aaron has correctly mentioned, that could be new to most of the participants beyond Bhutan. And I'm very happy to share the experience that we have, the practice that we have. And in light with that, I would also like to touch upon design thinking and entrepreneurship that I have been working with my current agency in terms of building a capacity and also introducing courses, especially the integrations for entrepreneurship. So these are the overview of my presentations, and firstly we will discuss on the current challenge and landscape of Tibet, and that we really need to have a dynamic shift for us to move forward. And the next one is could be new to most of our friends here on gross national happiness in Tibet and gross national, and I'll also quickly give a comparative between gross national happiness and sustainable development goal, because we are more aware of what is SDGs, and we can really have the clear understanding of what GNH means at global stage. And also I'll also give a quick example of how GNH is integrated in our educations, and then I'll take you through how to use design thinking tools and entrepreneurship as a strategy to move forward, to prepare our future skills of our youth and for future industry. And definitely we'll discuss on some strategic integration framework that we can adopt. So this is all my kind of proposal and presentations for today. Now let's look at the evolving challenges in our Tibet landscape. So traditionally, historically, our Tibet traditional model, if you see, if you look back and reflect on our own system currently, some of our member countries is already into future ready Tibet, but most of us are in traditional Tibetan model, where we historically focus on static technical skills, rote repetitions, and immediate job placements, which means we skills just to give employment or address an unemployment issues, that is burning issue, especially with our developing and underdeveloped country. So while this is effective for industrial needs, it often like adaptability for, especially for the IR 4.0 and 5.0, that is industrial revolutions. By now, I think most of our participants would be quite familiar what is meant by IR 4.0 and 5.0. And future ready Tibet requires a shift towards a holistic competencies, not just a specific competency, as Dr. Maw Maw has correctly mentions that we also have to move beyond competency-based training system, where we solely focus on imparting the competencies that's required for that specific skills and jobs. So there should be a shift of focus from technology along to the people, values, and sustainability. They requires a shift of holistic competence. From technology and in problem or design thinking value shapes and budget. So this is my, or you can, if you feel like it's relevant, you can adopt and move.
Okay, it seems like it seems Mr. Dorji is having some technical issues, Steph, you think?
Yeah, it's on his end. Let's wait for him to reconnect. Um, for the next one.
Okay, so I hope
Okay, so
everybody, okay.
network breakage. There was disturbance, so I managed to switch my network to other.
Okay,
It's a
sir.
shame here. My Wi-Fi
It's
is
okay,
not
sir.
stable.
It happens, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Let's
Okay.
proceed, sir.
Let me project my screen again. You're with me here, right? From
Yes,
where
sir.
should
Yes,
I
sir.
get? Okay. So I just talked, you heard of me talking about future ready TVET?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. So I was in Industrial Revolution 5.0, right? So Industrial Revolution 5.0 is a revolution that is built upon Industrial IR 4.0, which was formally adopted by European Commissions, I think early 20s, and where automations and AI disruptions requires new cognitive and socioeconomic skill sets for workers. And with the a rollout of artificial intelligence product like now I think all of us are quite familiar like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Perplexity, so Notebook LM. So there are lots of AI coming into place, and it is having a disruptive technology. And I have even used Canva, which is a disruptive technology of design technology, and I've used this to prepare this very PowerPoint presentation. So when such things are evolving, so we need really human-machine collaborations like cobots, like chatbot in most of the business now, even like our institutes like CPSC and particular training institutes or colleges or universities also adopt now to assess human, and emphasis on human creativity and skills, sustainability and green technology, ethical and inclusive use of technology, and social well-being and resilience is very much important when we enter into the era of IR 5.0. Okay, and to better understand the context, while Dr. Momo has shared lots of facts and figure of what is happening around the globe, global trends in terms of employment, skillings, let's quickly focus on our CPSC member country region, especially like Southeast Asia and Pacific region. While world youth unemployment, because we are here, the TVET sector, the very purpose of TVET sector, as I mentioned, is to address the unemployment, especially focus on the youth. The world youth unemployment as of 2023 was 13.8%, and low and middle income country raised up to 14.1%. But the worst scenario is with our South Asian country like Sri Lanka is going as high as 25%, and Nepal 20, and India and Bangladesh about 15%, right? So, and with this, if you are aware, the future job reports by World Economic Forum, I really appreciate that. And if you're not really aware of that, I would encourage you to at least look at the report, the future jobs report that is annually published by World Economic Forum. That is a very comprehensive study which covers almost all the countries, and which really gives us the real-time information of what is the future job dynamics, what is the labor market dynamics. And as per the future jobs reports, I just took a list of important informations indicated in the report that's relevant to the sessions. So on an average, a worker can expect that 2/5 of their existing skill sets will be transformed or become outdated over next 5 years, okay, by 2030 period. So that is accounts to almost 39%. So which means another 39% of skills gaps will be created as we move on to 2030. And new jobs evolving are technology related, which are fast growing jobs, jobs like big data specialists, fintech engineers, AI and machine learning, and software and application developments, green and energy sectors that Dr. Mamo also mentions. And among this, health and well-being is expected to be a top focus for talent attractions, with 64% of employers surveyed identifying it as a key strategy to increase talent availability. And the future jobs of survey also find that adoptions of diversity, equity, inclusions initiatives remains on the rise, which I believe, as we were focusing more on building the competencies for jobs, we sometimes tend to overlook those areas that can be addressed through adopting the philosophy of cross-national happiness that is widely practiced by Bhutan. And what is the way forward, and how should we move beyond the current scenario to prepare ourselves for future jobs or future emerging technology, and catching the dynamic shift of the technology? So the future of Tibet can be molded through adoptions of these three pillars that I would like to propose to the floor. To foster sustainable development of transforming Tibet. The first pillar that I'll be proposing is gross national happiness, a philosophy that is widely adopted and practiced in Bhutan, and now it's gaining global attentions. So I'll discuss it in detail, especially with regards to gross national happiness. And next thing is design thinking tool can be also adopted in Tibet and educations, which is already happening. And design thinking is a tool that is widely used by a well-developed country, and it is heavily used in Silicon Valley for the startups, companies, innovations and inventions. And finally, we must move our technical education defense sectors, just preparing our youth for jobs towards creators of more jobs in future. So these are the three model I would like to propose as a three pillars for our future Tibet. So through the pillar one, gross national happiness, by integrating GNH in Tibet, we can consider these three dimensions. First one is sustainability, which is ecological diversity and resilience, and as simple as training students to use resources wisely and consider environmental impact, which we may have already incorporated into curriculum or may not have, but it's high time to do that. And also we should be aware of our community needs, also engage community, like preservations of culture and community vitality, ensuring skills that contribute to social cohesion, not just for profit, which I believe for now we are more towards profit making and forgetting those social and environmental impact. And as a whole, Tibet sector can also consider of good governance and ethical leadership, instilling professional integrity, civic responsibilities in the workforce. So that can be drawn through GNH philosophy. And to better understand what GNH is, I will quickly take you through the brief background of what gross national happiness that Bhutan has adopted a long time ago and have been widely used, and it has gained popularity up to the United Nations. And in 2011, under the UN General Assembly Resolution 65, it was adopted. I mean, the importance of gross national happiness philosophy was endorsed in July 2011, and in 2012 June, first International Day of Happiness was adopted after introducing gross national happiness principles in UN General Assembly, and it falls on March 20th of every month. I hope you're aware of that. If not, please take note of this and let's celebrate happiness just for a day. And the phrase gross national happiness was first coined by our fourth king of Bhutan. His name is King Jimisenge Wangchu, in late 1970, when he was crowned as one of the youngest monarch in the world at the age of 17. So he stated that at that time, gross national happiness is more important than the gross domestic product, and Bhutan has gained its brand name or popularity of happiness because we have been so far promoting that more than gross domestic product, gross national happiness is important. While the concept implies that sustainable development should take a holistic approach towards notions of progress and give equal importance to non-economic aspects of well-being and happiness. So since then, the idea of gross national happiness has influenced Bhutan's development policy and also captured the imaginations of others far beyond its border. And it is widely integrated in our five-year planning, in our educations, in our curriculum, in our classroom. Okay. So Jainist philosophy is deeply rooted in Buddhist traditions and culture. It aligns with Buddhist principles of middle path. So the beauty is we follow the middle path of economic development, social development, and environmental degradations. So we have to have our development not at the cost of environment degradations. So these are the four pillars of gross national happiness that we widely practice. The first one is socioeconomic, sustainable, equitable, and socioeconomic development. And the second pillar is environmental conservations. And the fourth one is preservation, promotion of culture, and good governance. So be it policy or be it educations, we always use this as a guiding pillars and also filters to formulate any of our policies and plans. It is adopted up to the highest level of our policy and law. For example, in our constitutions, the Article 9 of the constitutions states that the state shall strive to promote those conditions that will enable pursuit of gross national happiness. So it is well integrated into our system. And to better understand what gross national happiness and how can happiness measure like the gross domestic product, the Center of Bhutan Studies, Center for Bhutan and GNH Studies, which is the apex body for conducting the research and studies related to Bhutan and its development, has adopted a GNH index using the Foster method. And in that, they had proposed 9 domains and 33 indicators, of which further down, it trickled down to 72 and 151 variables. And some of the examples of 9 domains are like as simple as time use. So they measure the time for your work, measuring the work hour, and also like sleep time, which is also two contradictory things that you must balance in your life. And you also measure of another domain is education. It measures the literacy, education level, values, and culture. And third domain is culture diversity, resilience, good governance, community. It also check on community vitality, like family, safety, and community relationships. It's also take care of ecological diversity and resilience, and also it also measure the living standards like assets, housing, then household per capita income, and also more focus on psychological well-being and health is the common aspect that we tend to forget while we are more towards developmental activity. Bendor and Van Noren has conducted a comparative studies on comparing a sustainable development goal and GNH. While GNH concept was adopted and was into practice in early 1970s, sustainable development goal was adopted in 2015, and through my assessment as well. So they are very much relevant and equivalent, I can say. Sustainable development goal is primarily rooted in Western modernism, relying on individualistic, market capitalist, and humanist right-based orientations. The approach is largely anthropocentric, that is human-centered, while GNH is rooted in Buddhist principles emphasizing interdependence of all things, compassion, balance, and moderations. It has an inherent biocentric value orientations aiming to respect natures or for nature's sake. So the prominent two difference between SDG and GNH is while SDG is more of a human-centric, GNH is biocentric, and whereas SDGs focus more on individualistic, relying on individualistics, GNH focus more on interdependence. So that's the very reason, like even like our education system, Bhutanese mindset, Bhutanese way of doing things are more on, even up to the system level, are more on to interdependent level than the independent level, which is mostly the core principles of educating and teaching in a Western culture. And as per their study, they have concluded that GNH is more comprehensive and inherently sustainable framework than the SDGs. So just to appreciate what GNH is, proposing this study results. And as I mentioned, in constitutions, the GNH is integrated well, and also it also said that state shall endeavor to provide education for the purpose of improving, increasing knowledge, values, and skills of entire population, with education being directed towards the full development of human personalities, which is then also related to GNH. And even our core visions of our ministry, Ministry of Education and Skills Development, which is the apex agency that look after the education system of Bhutan, has integrated GNH as its vision. An educated and enlightened society of GNH built and sustained on unique Buddhist values of Thatamsi and Lechute. And it is also well reflected in our national education policy, which also stress on gross national happiness. And how do you bring this GNH education into practice? So in 2009, the Ministry of Education has launched the Education for GNH, or Educating for GNH, EGNH, initiative to infuse GNH principles and values into school curriculum, aiming to nurture citizens who understand the interconnected natures of reality and care deeply for others and natures. And Educating for GNH endeavors to promote holistic education addressing socioeconomic needs along academic development. So if you could take your approach of skillings or educating, so that itself is a comprehensive and complete in itself. So how GNH is infused in curriculum? So one of the key guiding principles of our school curriculum framework, be it mathematics, English, language, or a science. So curriculum framework has integration of GNH value. It states that principle of GNH should be deeply embedded in curriculum to promote the holistic development of students. And school curriculum framework identified like spirituals and values, sustainable living, health and well-being, which is very much a domain of GNH as a key competencies within the curriculum. And in our Tibet curriculum, GNH values are implicitly embedded as a separate module, such as soft skills, academic subjects, environmental studies, and entrepreneurship. In addition, initiatives like we are working on is like regenerative tourism within the tourism sector's curriculum, further promote the value-based learning and sustainable practices. And the current king of Bhutan has a grand vision in building a living GNH lab that is situated in south part of Bhutan, where we have identified a separate administrative region to build a modern city that is backed by our GNH values. This is called Gelfu Mindfulness City, and you can very much see through the core sectors, industry and sectors of this city that is building. And it's not just in a conceptual form, it is already happening. And they are starting with building of international airport, to international railroad, to building an infrastructure. And these are the core industry that has proposed. And among this, we could see lots of green jobs being generated through this new city that is being developed. It's a mega city called Gelfu Mindfulness City. So in this, we have like green tourism, finance and digital assets, aviation and logistics, green energy and technology, agri-tech, forestry, education, knowledge, and not to forget the core value of GNH, that is health and wellness and spirituality. So this city will be a very unique living GNH lab that world can see in future. And now going to the pillar 2, design thinking in Tibet from how to why. So far, be it our competence-based training system, so we have been focusing more on building our skills for a job, and we have been teaching mostly how to do the things, how to fix the machines, how to carry out the tasks, how to complete the projects. Now, if you bring design thinking into our Tibet, we'll be diving deeper by asking why questions. Okay, so when they do, they'll be asking why they have to do, why they are doing that way, why not other way. So this will bring a deeper understanding, broaden their way of thinking, and it will have immense benefit. And as I mentioned, design thinking is a popular tool that's being widely used. Like a developed country like Singapore, I was trained as a master trainer for design thinking by Singapore Polytechnic International. And I had an opportunity to visit some of the living examples of how design thinking is being adopted and being used in Singapore. To my surprise, I even saw like they are doing a prototype, a live prototype in a golf course, building their manpower office with cardboard. So they are going up to that, and design thinking is everywhere in developing a policy, generating new idea, designing a structure, doing a city map. So everywhere you go, you can see design thinking. So likewise, I believe other countries like Malaysia and some other developed countries are already using. And as I mentioned, it is widely used in Silicon Valley, and so much benefit have been reaped by adopting design thinking. So I would propose, why not we bring this design thinking in our Tibet sector as well. So design thinking moves vocational training beyond execution to innovation. It teaches trainees to understand the user's needs before picking up a tools. Okay. So for now, our Tibet graduates just follow the instructions, follow the job sheets, follow the task sheets, and just execute the task. Okay. So they never ever had an opportunity to use and see the user lens. So for this, we have to use empathy first, understanding the human context of technological problem. So iterative solving, where we can bring a concept of prototyping and testing solutions, fostering resilience. What is design thinking process? A framework for innovations and problem solving. So design thinking believes that the people who face problems are the one who hold the key to their problem answer. So design thinking is human-centric problem solving tools which emphasizes on empathy, collaboration, co-creation, and stakeholder feedback to unlock creativity, innovation. So which devise feasible and viable big ideas or solutions. Some of the key okay, some of the key principles and mindsets that one need to build while adopting design thinking is it is a human-centered, it should be a collaborative teamwork, it should be learning by doing, and one must embrace experimentations through prototyping and try to understand the pattern, relationship, and system to get more insights and idea and find the needs. And one can show your idea through visuals and then test with the users. So which is very much relevant to how our training are conducted, how our Tibet sectors will be functioning. So if you really have our Tibet program system or lesson in the class designed by using these mindsets, I believe definitely we can have a new dimensions of how we do the business and will be a forward moving Tibet sector. Another very important mindset is hands-on, hands-on, and hands-on approach. And I could see most of the institutions, organizations also adopting this hands-on, and minds-on strategy. Hands-on as simple as like having an empathy, adaptability, and courage is very much strong attitude that one can build or a culture one can build. And in our Tibet sector, as simple as a Tibet trainer or teacher, we can use empathy in a classroom to really understand how the different piece of your learners capability, and through that you can really design a sessions and deliver according to their needs. So you can go up to that level. And to have an innovations in design thinking, we said always says that one must go with a beginner's mindset, with emotional resilience and open-mindedness, which quite often lacked with our technical persons. I must being a technical background. So I had a personal experience, and it is proven by research also. During the design thinking training, we have an activity to build a tower using a spaghetti, and of the group that tend to fail are people having an engineering or technical background. And according to the study, they have shown that kindergarten children or primary school students are more successful in carrying out that activity, that is building a tower using a spaghetti. This is all because we have a fixed mindset, and it is also termed as a expert blindness, where like when we are asked to build the highest tower, we feel that we have the technical know-how, and then we directly apply our technology and try to use that, and we again forget to view other angle or other sides. So this way, like, we tend to fail. So if I have time, we can discuss it later how this has happened. So these are some of the phases that we design with the help of Singapore Polytechnic International, and Royal Civil Service Commission has also developed a manual. So I have put in the reference also, you can also look into that. And I had an opportunity to contribute in developing this manual as well. So design thinking, they have different model, but this is called 5E model that is developed by Singapore Polytechnic International. Some they use as a 5D method. Anyway, the essence is same. So in first phase, we have to do explore. So in each phase, we have identified a different tool like step analysis, strategic priority, activity system, stakeholder mapping, opportunity framing. So each phase is an iterative process. It's not a rigid and structured process. Then go for the empathize phase. For explore phase, the purpose is to reframe the opportunity, to innovate, to bring new ideas. That is for inspirations, okay, or problem framing. And we do an empathize phase to rediscover deep user needs. So this way, especially our Tibet sector may have felt the deep needs of industry, deep needs of our learners, okay. This way, like, we sometimes become blind, okay. So that's what we term it as a expert blindness. And we have lots of tools for each phases. Like for empathize, we have observation, need finding, user persona. And for experimentations, we have ideations, prototyping. And then for engage, we do storyboarding, co-creations, then idea refinements. And finally, building a product is to evolve phase, where we review activity and strategies, and then we implement our ideas. So it also has lots of tools like quick wins and evolve activity system. Just to give a gist idea, I'll play a short 90-second video on understanding design thinking in 90 seconds. So if I may have confused you, you can get clarity through this short video. So allow me to play this video for you.
Design strategy is about thinking differently, putting yourself in your customer's shoes to design solutions that not only fit their needs but delight them by empathizing through observing people in real-life scenarios like shopping, or through open-ended interviews to uncover what people do rather than what they want. Because if you ask people what they want, they don't necessarily know. By immersing yourself in your customer's world, you can understand their needs, gains, and pains. How? 1. Empathize. Immerse yourself in your customer's world. 2. Define the non-obvious insights. 3. Ideate. Brainstorm solutions. 4. Prototype. Build an MVP, minimum viable product, of ideas in the shortest possible time. Then take those prototypes back to your customers and ask what they think. Design strategy starts with the customer, then offers the solution, not the other way around. For example, an Australian supermarket chain wanted to design a unique, engaging in-store experience to further set them apart from competitors. So we followed their customers around, interviewed them, and watched what was happening in store over a considerable period. Customers wanted to feel more connected with the suppliers of their produce, an in-store experience they couldn't find elsewhere. One of the winning ideas was an in-store milk dispenser with old-style glass milk bottles. Customers fill the bottles with single origin high-quality milk. They can see details of the cows and farms that produced it, with assurance the suppliers receive a better price. This experience delights customers and is very successful across stores. If we had asked what customers wanted, they probably have said cheaper produce. But by empathizing, living, and observing, we developed an idea that not only excites customers, but gives the store a unique edge by connecting with customers' hearts and minds.
Okay, I hope you got what this design.
When you go to a hardware store to buy a drill, what
That's playing again. Let me put up the video and show my screen again. Just give me a moment. I'm getting a different wrong slides here. Okay, so while design thinking is widely used for ideations and building a business, you can also bring this concept to our TVET sectors. You can go as simple as how to understand the need of our learners and designing sessions as per them. For now, most of our way of doing business and designing a curriculum is by designing the needs of industry and pushing the learners through. This actually, to some extent, create gap and change to get interested to the course that we offer, right? For example, now mostly our trainees, we are dealing our generation Z, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, and they treat the way of doing learning, their habits are changing and greatly influenced, especially by like disruptive digital technology like AI. So we must also change our curriculum and way of delivering a session. So as per GotLab, they did a study on adopting design thinking in designing a medical course. And what they say is design thinking is a technique that builds on existing approach to curricular design by emphasizing the importance of the end user. So for now, we consider end user and multiple source of data. We consider only the industry. So sometimes we fail to even consider our trainer, our learners, and other parties that is playing a key role in our TVET sectors. So when designing or modifying curriculum, it is important to design components targeted for end users. And this can be, design thinking can be also used as one of the core engine for research and development, especially for the innovations, okay? So DT shifts the focus from rigid syllabus to solving real world problems, needs. It cultivates and innovate mindsets through 5 iterative stages that we have just viewed in the introductory video. And the final pillar that I would like to propose, and I think this is quite popular and widely used now, is entrepreneurship in Tibet. So I think this, from now, I should like propose that it should be a mandatory module in every course that we offer. So entrepreneurship education in Tibet isn't just about starting a business; it's about instilling an entrepreneurial and ownership mindsets. So it can empower students to identify opportunities, manage resources, and adapt to the market shifts, transforming them from job seekers to job creators. So that's the key things here. And just to reflect on the richest people in the world that is listed by the Forbes. I think this is a live data just I extract a study. Sorry for that. Okay. If you see this top 5 richest person in the world, Elon Musk number 1, number 2 Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook. Elon Musk, the founder of popular car called Tesla and SpaceX, and Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, Larry Ellison, the founder of Oracles, and Bernard Arnold and family. You can just ask what is the common that denominator that sets them apart from the others competitors. If you do a quick assessment and know their background, check their background, all of them are competent in computer language, that is coding, since then, okay? From their early days, Elon Musk started as early as his primary school days. In his junior high school, he even developed a computer game. Likewise, Mark Zuckerberg dropped from Harvard University. He didn't even complete a Harvard developing a Facebook. So all of them are well competent and are technical background and know the coding, which most of the common people doesn't know. So that really stand out. So what I would like to say is transforming our technical educations into a technopreneurship. So we really need a technopreneurship transformations that will bridge the gap between job seekers and job creators, fostering an entrepreneurial mindset in technical and vocational education by integrating innovative thinking and practical skills. Individuals are empowered to launch their venture, contributing significantly to economic growth and workforce development in evolving landscape of industry IR 4.0 and 5.0. So technopreneurship is key now. Now going forward, we must prepare our Tibet sector as a technopreneur startup company. So building a future enterprise and a job creators. So empowering students to transition from seeking employment to creating a sustainable venture using advanced technology. And I quickly checked the Youth Pulse Report 2026. It's an insight from the next generation for the changing world by World Economic Forum again. They have tried to study what is the future things policy that would most empower youth, young people. Which policy would empower young people most in your country? And among these, the top one is creating employment opportunities for youth. So which is 57.2%, okay? And with this, I remember attending my last trip to Philippines, attending a regional program. Along with that, we had a privilege to attend a first Tibet conference 2025 conducted by Kalgan University with support from Colombo Plant Staff College. At that address, and in most of the address, the current Director General of Colombo Plant Staff College, Professor Dr. Suresh Kumar Damija, constantly says that gone are the days that when we can merely skill youth for jobs. Today, we must skill them to become a job creators. And that really resonates with the most respected and popular figure from Professor Dr. Damage's country. And also he is also a scientist and a ex-president of India, APJ Abdul Kalam. And he is a philosopher. He said that the youth need to be enabled to become a job generator from a job seekers. So this, I believe, can be a sign of developed nations and sign of our Tibet sectors moving forward. So we can think of producing a unicorn, hexacorn, and decacorn in future to our Tibet sector. So by integrating these three pillars, or you can say a domain, into our Tibet sector as a whole, in a system, in course design, or at least in our classroom, I would propose this sweet spot is integration of gross national happiness philosophy in the class or in Tibet sectors, and design thinking and technopreneurship. When we overlap these three domains, we create a powerful profile of person who solve problem with empathy. So by using design thinking approach and seizes opportunity with agility, that is technopreneurship, and act with integrity, so through GNH. Thereby, we'll be able to produce a work-ready, world-ready, and future-ready graduates for future skills and for future evolving industry. So these are some of the strategies of integration framework that I would propose, like curriculum infusions. We must embed as simple as using empathy while developing curriculum or designing a course. Please also consider not only the industry, which is quite common practice, also includes your users like learners. It can be their parents, it can be other employers or other organizations. It can be beyond. So by doing design thinking only, you will know who are the relevant user. So this can be done through like stakeholder mapping, and can apply business modeling inspired by design thinking directly into technical course. So not as electives, to inculcate entrepreneurial mindsets. And we can equip teachers by training them to facilitate as a facilitator of innovations, not just a masters of trade skills. So we can go beyond their trade skills. This is what it is very sad to observe. Our skilled persons are just the follower of the instructions of some higher authority or management and deliver their services. So we should be the one who should be the innovators, like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos. So industry partnership should be a collaborative project that requires sustainable and profitable solutions, especially to the real world problems using design approach. By doing that, you can station yourself as a credible or institutions that can collaborate with industry. Thereby, you can also get secure a fund, support, and trust from the industry partners and also the community. And there should be also need of assessment reform, like great student on process, ethical consideration, and creativity along with technical precision, not just their final competencies or skills. So we must really go beyond that level in future. And I just came to this LinkedIn post by Akbari, which is very interesting. Wanted to share, which is relevant in this. So the way forward, what we have to think is, what does we have to have innovations in Tibet? So what does it really mean? Fundamental change. We need to transform Tibet to respond to new social, economic, and labor market needs. So far, we've been focusing more on labor market needs only. Now we also have to expand our dynamics or dimensions to new social needs and economic needs. And also, we have to have future orientations of education, aligning skills training with emerging technology and market demands. That I think we are doing already. And we have to go beyond institutions that some of us might be doing, but most of us are within institutions. So for that, we have to be moving beyond institution. So for that, supporting innovations beyond classroom and organizational boundary, and Another thing is investment and capacity. So sustainable innovation requires funding system and skilled people. So that can be done through policy interventions and support through international organizations. And finally, build a skilled workforce for future. So preparing people for tomorrow's economy and jobs is the key to moving our Tibet for sustainable development. So the end goal is I resonate with the
Sir Karma, it seems that you're having some issues with your bandwidth. Sir, if you could hear us, maybe you can just turn off your videos. Your video for the
is
meantime, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. Let's just wait. So while waiting for Sir Karma to come back, I think one of the questions that were raised during the first session was answered by Dr. Momo on the chat box. So for the reference, of course, and information of everybody, please refer to the live chat for the answer. And once again, thank you for the 99 strong participants here in the, oh, it's 100 strong participants here at our Zoom virtual room, and to our audiences, to our audience at the Facebook Live. Is Sir Karma here already? Thank you very much. And we sincerely hope that everyone had a very informative afternoon, morning, evening with us as we try to, of course, uplift more the practice of Tibetan region. So we hope to see everyone soon again in our next activities, not just on our international webinars, but of course in our programs, be it the regional or at our in-country programs. And if ever any one of you would be interested to do a customized or a special programs with us, feel free to contact us anytime soon.
okay. Extremely sorry.
It's okay, sir. We lost you during your last slide, sir, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think in way forward, right? So I've just
Yes, sir.
completed this way forward. Sorry, my second plan B backup was also giving issue. Looks like it was heating up and then automatically turned off my phone because it's very cold here, so we have to use heater and could take the temperature. So I'm here, right? The last slides. Okay. Sorry for that, and thank you for your patience. I just wanted to conclude these sessions with our ultimate goal. We must progress, be it at personal level, national level, or global level. Development should not be at the cost of environmental degradations, social impacts. So it should be with values, as correctly mentioned, or I resonate with our Corin King's quote on gross national happiness by His Majesty King Jimmy Namgyal Wangchu. I quote, "To me, GNH is simply development with values." So a timeless reminder that true progress must be guided by compassion, wisdom, and integrity. So therefore, education is not just about making living, it is about making a life that is worth living. So let's not damage for the future. And these are the reference that I have used, which I've shared the slides in on course. You can get deeper ideas and understanding from their papers and writings. And if you have any questions, let's discuss so we can build this future together. Thank you, and over to you, Erilyn.
Thank you very much, Sir Karma, for that very a breath of fresh air, if I may say, because this is a different
Welcome.
concept. Yes, this is a different paradigm altogether. And in our many years of experience in terms of teaching and with the practice of Tibet, this is the first time, actually, personally, this is the first time that I've heard how the gross national happiness was utilized specifically in a country wherein you put premium, you put emphasis on the importance of the human factor in developing not just the economy,
Yeah.
not just the industry, of course, but the totality of a nation as it is, sir. So before we move forward to the to our not I don't think there are any other questions except for one. I believe in terms of alignment, CPSE is very much aligned with the GNH paradigm because here at CPSC, we have the 40s. We teach minds, train heart. We teach minds,
Yeah.
train hands, touch hearts, and transform lives. So with that, sir, I
Mm.
believe that we are not just one with Bhutan, but we are also one with the 16 member countries in championing the GNH paradigm. And we hope that we could also replicate this and put it as one of the best practices that we can share with other member countries as we go through our programs here at CPSC. Okay, sir. One comments are coming from our audience. The presentation is so exciting and insightful. It's all about hands-on, hearts-on, and
Mm.
minds-on. Great, thanks a lot. I think
Okay,
this is
thank
from
you.
Ethiopia. Yeah, he's very appreciative
Okay,
actually.
thank you
Would
all
love
the
to
way
connect
from
with
okay.
him. And sir, this one, what's
Nice
the
to hear that.
difference between entrepreneurship and technopreneurship? This is the common misconception, sir. What's the
Mhm.
difference?
Mhm. Yeah, of course, I'm not an expert in that field, but with my little training and experiences, the main difference between technopreneurship is and entrepreneurship. If you can see that top 5 successful entrepreneur as of now, technopreneurship, they have technical know-how within them. Okay, whereas entrepreneur, they have the business idea, but they don't know technical know-how. That's why they have to hire technical persons to back up their business idea. So for example, in some business setup enterprise, they will have chief technical officer below chief executive officer. So CEO is the overall business executives, but he doesn't have technical know-how. So he should have chief technical officer, where he will be the backup of that CEO in terms of technical know-how. But if you refer like Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, even the Bill Gates, they build their own product themselves. They know in and out. Even our those who are using iPhone, like Steve Jobs, they are technopreneur, I can say, because they have idea. At the same time, they have business. And one thing, I'll take this opportunity, how and why technopreneurs has now topped the world top 5 richest person. When those technopreneurs will have an added advantage of having a technical know-how, okay? If you compare to the entrepreneur, and this is how they can exit. I just read the biography of Elon Musk. If you have time or an opportunity, you can go through. I think, especially if those people working in Tibet sector must read his book. He was when he formed a first digital banking system. Actually, he actually innovated that, and at the same time there was like PayPal things. So his was called SIP, and later on they merged and it became PayPal, which is quite popular digital transaction happening now, quite popular. Now another generation is crypto, but before that digital banking was there. So at the time of invention of digital banking, he literally went to door, from bank to bank, trying to convince his idea, but at that time most of them were not really able to uh, capture his ideology. But later on he became successful in forming that PayPal. But Elon Musk is such a person that he lacks, I can fairly say, but if this reached to him, sorry for that, I can say that he lacks emotional quotient EQ. He doesn't have that managerial skills. At times, he was the chairperson of that board of PayPal, but while he was on vacations, the board actually kicked him out from the board. So where he were compensated with $158 million. So what I'm trying to say is, if you have technical know-how, anyhow you will survive, okay? If Elon Musk were the entrepreneur and he was kicked out from that day, who knows, he might be beggar in the street. So because of that, he has that $158 million with him. He again then started his space project and space business. So this is how he became the richest person. Okay, over to you, Evelyn. Sorry for taking
It's
time.
okay, it's okay, sir. It's always good to learn from the experience of others, of course, because these are clear manifestations on how we should lay the foundation as regards to what would be the best way to gain success, especially in TVET, sir, because the promise of TVET is in terms of relevance and employability is really good. Okay, the presentation was informative and helped clarify key points as one as per one of our audience. I think
Thank
G&H
you.
is deep in its view, how you see it applicable in other countries like Africa and Europe with different spiritual belief, who are neither who neither know nor follow the principle behind Buddha. If, excuse me if I'm mistaken, as per Mr. Wandi
Thank you.
Mudawit. If I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at it
Mm.
as a kind of a spiritual triggering signal that leads someone to do his or her job successfully. So like a spiritual motivation.
Mhm.
Any explanation on
Mhm.
this, sir?
Okay. Through my little knowledge, if I may, try to, I think from Ethiopia, right? Yeah, very interesting. Thank you, sir, for the questions. And I would say gross national happiness is religion neutral. So it's not neither Buddhism. Of course, it's inspired by the concept of middle path, and but it's not a religion in itself. So it's neutral. So we can, even if you are not Buddhist or non-spiritual, this is its own philosophy where you try to balance between socio-economic development with environment, where you carefully design a policy and plan so that you don't damage. If I may give a quick example, and it will be very much relevant to our developing nations and underdeveloped countries, like most of the countries here in Asia Pacific region, space member country, and including Ethiopia, because we tend to make living and happiness out of little that we have. Okay, it's not that wealth always bring happiness. So that's the key thing, is being satisfied with what you have and making most out of what you are having. Okay, so there's a popular saying said like, yesterday is a history and tomorrow is a mystery, and today is our precious gift. So we should be in present moment. So that's the key thing. So that's why there are lots of conflict and war happening. Like recently, I think Iran is having tension with US, Israel war, Ukraine war. It's all happening because they're not satisfied with what they have, not satisfied with the power they have. They really wanted to go beyond. They really wanted to expand. So if you go with those mindset of stronger desire for economic benefit, economic power advantage, so these conflicts arises. So country like ours, I think, will be very much relevant for us to adopt this kind of philosophy and taking most out of having a little one. So that would be more relevant. So I would say not necessarily be a Buddhist major country or a spiritual country.
Definitely, sir, because there are other schools of thought, sir, that are directly linked to the concept of creating a whole man. Because there are the European, the old American concepts such as the Socratic, of course, the Socratic manner of thinking, also the Stoicism. So there are
Yeah.
lots, but basically, sir, the common denominator would be creating a whole man.
Yeah.
Is that it, sir? So creating a whole man, a man who's ready, as what you say, work ready, someone who is capable of handling both the internal and the external factors concerning his humanity, be it on the environment factor brought about by the technology and all. So I hope that answered the question as well. So another one, what are the key challenges of design thinking on curriculum development, sir?
Mhm. Okay, like while I propose design thinking can be one of the dimensions that we can adopt in our Tibet sectors, it also has its own disadvantage. Like it's a very comprehensive tools. You should do lots of iterative process. You have to conduct a deep interview. You have to have lots of major stakeholder consultations. But what I would propose is you don't have to um, adopt all the tools and process complete in itself, but we can adopt some of the tools that is relevant. Example like empathy, as simple as empathy, like I mentioned, like if you apply that empathy phase, so far, if you reflect back, we have been designing curriculum solely focusing on the industry need, but we never consider our learners' need, right? So this is where we again fail to empathize the learner themselves, because they are our main. If it is in a business setup, they are our main customers, and we are not focusing on our customer. We are focusing on our profit. So this way, like, we tend to get wrong. So I believe like design thinking is a very forward-thinking, innovative tools you can use anywhere, actually, anywhere, at your personal level, at agency level, at policy level. But in Tibet sectors, we can use in designing a course, uh, planning a lessons, and implementing a lessons, and more so on research development and innovations, especially in innovation sector.
And hopefully that would also solve the problem about burnout and stress, or work-related stress and burnout. Definitely. Excellent presentation by Karma, Dorji, and Dr. Momo. Okay, we will share the presentation, by the way, on course.
Thank you.
Nice presentation. Thanks to all. Excellent coordination by CPSEY. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Very true, sir. One of the audience said, how can GNH how is GNH effective in Tibet? How can we develop curriculum based on GNH in a country just like Pakistan, sir?
Okay, thank you, sir, for your questions. Uh, just a simple tips. From today, you understand what is GNH concept, the 4 pillar of GNH, and 9 domain of GNH. So how can you adopt this in curriculum? What and how we do is we adopt this as one of the guiding principle of developing our curriculum, and one of the key competencies of our curriculum. And at diploma level, we even has a separate module that we focus on GNH, because we can use GNH as our branding our Tibet in future. And especially in context of Pakistan, I would encourage you to further study on what are the GNH pillars and domains and parameters, and you can adopt. And as simple as if you wanted to incorporate in curriculum, you can also further like break down while you analyze your content, especially in terms of identifying the attitudes part of or affective domain of your learning. So you can think of consider those domains of GNH. And in our schools, how we do is we have I didn't have much time to put in the presentations detail. In our schools, what they do is every time they plan the lessons, they have all the parameter listed in the curriculum, and in each session they wanted to address one of the or two or more than two of the parameters. Okay, so this is how you can do that. Okay, that's as simple as that. And the first thing is you must study about GNH, so you can get lots of study research papers on GNH, which is now quite popular globally.
Or perhaps we can do a special program for that as well, sir. Maybe that would open an avenue for collaboration, of course, between member countries. But again, sky's the limit in terms of potential, sir. And I hope that with this webinar, we're able to open doors of opportunities for collaboration and communication among the member countries, especially with Myanmar and Bhutan, and seeing Ethiopia and Pakistan and other countries who are here, Philippines, of course, are greatly interested in the concept that were presented by both of you, by Dr. Momo and Mr. Karma. I think we are on the right track in terms of the implementation and practice of Tibet in the Asia Pacific. So I guess we'll just entertain one more question, sir, before we wrap up our session. How can we use the tool of empathy in order to build a curriculum on robotics? This is quite true, sir. How do we integrate both
Mhm.
on the IR5 concept?
Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting questions and very critical. While we are evolving into Industrial Revolution 5.0, robotics and AI is one of the major disruptive technology that we are facing. And the only thing missing in those technology is empathy. So this is where like human can take advantage, okay? And I once had if you have time, please watch a discourse between a world-renowned yoga master called Sadhguru, and I forgot the name of that Japanese scientist. They're talking about year 2100, how it will be. So what they say is, while technology is evolving, AI and robotics is evolving, we human will have more time to focus on ourselves. Especially Sadhguru promotes yoga, which he calls as internal engineering, that is self-reflections and self-awareness. So how can we use empathy in developing a curriculum? As simple as first thing is you have to empathize who the user is, the robots, okay, who the user is, then who is going to learn the robotics. So you can get insight from them through deep user interview by doing a journey mapping. There are lots of tools. So in my reference, I have shared the guideline, guidebook for design thinking developed by Bhutan. So you can also have a look at there. So there are lots of tools how to build empathy. First thing is changing a mindset, okay? Considering that you have lots of users and you must take care of the interests of all the users, not only a particular, especially when we are not considering the sustainability and sustainable thinking, we always go or overshadowed by the profit making and economic gain. So this way actually we are putting ourselves blind, and industrial revolution IR 5.0 has actually focused more on human robot collaborations. It's all because while we are too much into profit making and technology, we are missing the humanistic aspects, okay? So I hope I answered the
Yes, sir.
questions. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So at the end of the day, do not lose your humanity. Technology will
Yeah.
come, but do not lose your humanity. With that, sir,
Yes.
we would wrap up this final session with you. Thank you very much. And also our much appreciation to our audience who have been with us through all the technological glitches that we have. But then again, sir, we did have a very meaningful and insightful session with both of you, with Dr. Maw Maw Tun a while ago and with Mr. Karma Dorji for the last session. And with that, sir, thank you very much on behalf of CPSC.